Joining us today is the CEO of Hearsay, one of the most interesting technologies I've seen for law firms. This is David Powell. He is the CEO of Hearsay, as I mentioned earlier, and it's a legal tech platform revolutionizing how attorneys collect mobile and digital evidence. So think of a way to extract text messages, WhatsApp messages, voicemails, call logs, and soon social media direct messages with tamper-proof reporting and super client-friendly workflows. If you have paralegals, they're going to love you if you ever purchase this. So, welcome to the program, David.
Hugo, thanks for having me. Morning.
Yeah, absolutely. So, tell us about what's the elevator pitch? Like you meet someone, you meet an attorney, let's say a family law attorney, immigration.
Yeah.
What are you telling them about hearsay?
We basically say, hey, getting evidence and messages off of a phone is annoying for both you, the lawyer, and the client, right? We can't go 15 minutes without being on our phones, and handing over a device for hours so that you can pull some text messages is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
So most people rely on screenshots. Screenshots soon are going to be inadmissible in court. Things like AI are turning, these fakes, make it really easy to edit and doctor images. You miss timestamps. And so we want to make it really easy for you to collect native data from your clients, whether it's, like we said, mobile phone data, texts, photos, notes, call logs, web browsing history, whatever you need there, or social media, and soon we'll have emails and medical records and financial documents, like all of these things, just really easy, really native ways to collect and analyze your data.
That's amazing. So,
Yeah.
let's talk about the attorneys that are going to find this most useful. So, what practice areas do you find are your most common buyer?
Yeah, we work a ton with family law, employment law, and criminal defense. Next, some personal injury, business litigation, real estate is also actually pretty common. A contractor and an employee and the owner, or maybe landlord tenant kind of thing. Lots of different use cases there. When we get into social media, personal injury becomes, a bit more interested, where you want to show, like, hey, here's what they were doing before an accident. Here's what they post on social media after the accident. You want to make sure they're not, playing volleyball with it with back injury, right, from a car accident. So, all of those things become really helpful in finding smoking guns and evidence you want to know about ahead of time.
Cool. So, I mean, this
Yeah.
is a pretty niche problem. It's data extraction, and
Yeah.
you're going to show us a demo in a few minutes. It's pretty impressive how quick it is, how user friendly it is, how easy it is to onboard, a
Hmm.
law firm into the system. It's just
Yeah.
awesome. So, but it's such a narrow niche problem. How'd you get to this point? Like, why even start this company?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't, I wasn't sitting at home as a 10-year-old going, "Ooh, I'm gonna collect text messages when I get older," right? That wasn't my dream job. But I actually found myself in litigation with an old business partner, and he stole some money from the company. The whole everything we did was by text, right? And we're seeing more and more often business happens over text instead of just email, which it used to be. And the first thing my attorney told me was, hey, I need you to send me all of these messages. And I was like, okay, great. Happy to do that. How? How do I send them to you? And he said, screenshot. And I was like, no way. This is thousands and thousands of images that I'd have to, messages I'd have to send, and then all these images. What are you going to do with them? Right? How do you review them? How do you read them? Put them all in order. And so if this, fancy New York City lawyer didn't know the text message extraction tools, I thought, well, maybe I could build a better one, build a tool that's actually user friendly, that's easy and reliable. And so that's what Hearsay is, and what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I mean, the screenshot thing, I've heard that from a lot of attorneys that it's so time intensive,
Hmm.
especially for really
Yeah.
complex cases. So and it seems like inevitably everyone who does use screenshots will have to use hearsay, if not something
Yeah.
similar to it, because screenshots won't be admissible anymore. So can
That's
you
right.
expand on that?
Yeah, so, there's a chain of custody problem when you're manually taking screenshots, whether it's your client or the paralegal, how do you prove that you have everything? How do you prove that nothing's been tampered with? And we solve that by having a closed loop, fully authenticated system that, if we need to sign an affidavit of what happened, the process
Mm.
that went through, we can do that too. And so as people are starting to scrutinize data and scrutinize, cases that are being cited, right? People are getting in trouble for, these hallucinations. Everything is going to get scrutinized. And so we need to be able to show this provenance, this chain of custody, which is what we solve.
Yeah, so it's like an objective third party like
Yeah, yeah.
presentation
We're
of
not in the middle of it. We're an unbiased third party. We can even help you get data from opposing counsel in this same way, where we can show what's going on, what's being shared, making sure that you're getting everything you need from the other side. When I'm the plaintiff and I'm talking to my attorney, I'm sharing everything freely and willingly and openly. I'll share more than I probably need to. On the defense side, they want to share nothing and they want to share as little as possible. And so they'll do whatever they can to, kind of get in your way and put hurdles there. And so we can really help, one, authenticate, make sure you get everything
yeah.
and overcome this hurdle of it's too burdensome, it's too expensive, all of these common complaints and objections that opposing counsel puts up, for just using our system in an hour of time, right? The
Yeah.
client can get you everything you need.
So I know the initial version right now is focused on SMS or
Mhm.
texting.
Yeah, that's the
There's a
demo
future
we'll go
state.
through.
Let's talk about that after this initial demo. So why don't you show us how how
Yeah,
the extractions work?
yeah. So I'll start off with the app that the custodian is going to use, right? So your client, we have a desktop program that runs on any computer,
Okay.
right? So this can happen in the office, this can happen at your client's house, this could happen, at a Starbucks somewhere,
Hmm.
right? As long as you have a computer, you can run this process. If you don't have a computer, we even have a computer rental program. So we have a bunch of clients all over the country. Their clients don't have computers at home.
Mm.
And so we can mail out a computer pre-configured, everything you need. All they need to do is plug the phone in, right? It makes it really easy to get all of these messages. So this is going to run on any computer. It's going to work with iPhones and Androids, right? So you don't need one solution for iPhones, one solution for Androids. Everything is standard. These guides, we have a guide we're walking through now. We have these for your clients as well, right? So we can just share this. So basically, what this client's going to do is they're going to pick, they have an iPhone, let's say. They're going to plug their phone into their computer with a cord. They're going to pick a save location and they're just going to enter their PIN. And that is it. And they're just going to leave this phone plugged in. It's going to take half an hour to an hour. We're going to grab all of the messages, all of the media with these messages. Anything else you've requested from this device will come off of the phone onto this computer, and then you can share, or the client can share, what they need with you from their device. So everything is safe and secure on the computer until they search and share.
Okay.
So they can search by keyword, they can search by phone number, whoever either having conversations with, or they can search by contact name. And we actually just rolled out the ability for you as the attorney to predefine what you need from this phone. Right? If you're worried that your client isn't going to share all five of these messages and they're just going to pick one or two, but you need everything,
Yeah.
we can predefine what it is you're looking for and pull this automatically. So even less for the client to do. They just run this backup. It shares what they need. The entire conversation with all of the native files and attachments shared in one click. So they plug the phone in, they run this process, and in half an hour, this sharing takes a minute, right? It's very fast. This all gets uploaded to you to review in your portal online, so you're not fumbling through email attachments, you're not collecting hundreds of PDFs and a bunch of files, you're not getting screenshot text messages onto your phone and trying to put them onto your computer. All of this gets shared online where you can review the conversations, you can read exactly what was said in these messages. Right here, example, looks just like a phone.
Yeah.
right? Hey, here are the texts that were sent. You can search through them. Another thing you can't do with screenshots, right? You have a bunch of images. How do you find messages? Well, here you can search, right? You can tag things, comment through things, and jump to different dates, right? So if there's a certain incident, you can jump to something you're looking for specifically.
That is so cool. I love the fact that yes, it's like what you call the third party supply chain, the authentication, but also the
Yeah,
UI. The UI is like it is what it is. It's what we all experience on the phone. So it's
exactly.
the most like resonant way to present the text, right? As
Hmm.
opposed to just like metadata, which
Right.
you've seen
A
presented.
spreadsheet. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
So I know that this is right now the initial version. It's texting. What is the future say? You mentioned emails, medical records, financial records. Like,
Yeah.
how deep do you guys want to go?
Yeah, so we are going to try get any data that your client is in control of that you need to present for evidence, you need to review while building a case and your strategy, or you need to produce for discovery, right? We want to be that layer between your client and their data to just make that whole process easier for them. And a step right before, if you're using eDiscovery, we're the early case assessment tool before you get, $25 a gig charges and storage. We want to be able to collect everything and you can cull it through our platform and then upload it. So it's text messages and everything through a phone, right? So text, WhatsApp, voicemail, call logs, notes, photos, Safari history. We're getting to location data. We want, anything you might need off of a device. Then we're going to get into kind of more worky kind of things, email. We
Hmm.
want Slack and Teams, right? Things you're using for work to communicate. In the family law world and in personal injury, there's a lot of like, how much money do you spend? What are you spending money on? What are your budgets? How much income are you taking? So financial records, being able to look at bank statements and live transaction feeds to see what people are spending money on. Are they in auto categorized, right? Are they spending money at the liquor store? Right? Is that something you have to be worried about? In the personal injury, we want to help collect medical records and provide them in a chronology, right? How do we help you pull this 1,000 page document and review it in something a bit easier? So you can put all of this data together onto a central timeline and have like a really good picture of everything in your case.
Interesting. So let's put like someone acting in bad faith. Let's say a workers' comp plaintiff, going to vacation while allegedly injured. They delete a bunch of texts.
Yeah.
So is there a workaround on that?
Yeah, so there are a couple things. So deleted messages are really pretty tricky. We get this question all the time. What deleted messages exist? If you collect the messages in the first 30 days, there's a chance we can actually recover some of these messages, right? Most people aren't going in, deep file system deleting things. They're just clicking delete in the UI, right, in their on their phone. So we can collect a bunch of things. The other thing that we can collect is what we call a gap analysis. And we had that up on the screen just a second ago. I'll bring that right back up. Is we can look through the data automatically and say, hey, it looks like somewhere on this phone, messages were deleted.
Hmm.
And so we can actually look through this and say, hey, some things missing, right? You're right to think something's off. And it gives you a really good picture of, do I need to pull another phone? Do I want to go collect from the other person in this conversation and see, are these same messages missing, right?
I
A
didn't even
lot
know
of
that
what
data
happened,
existed. That's wild. So
yeah,
the act of deleting the text messages remains.
yeah, exactly. So
Huh,
there,
interesting.
it's not evidence free. We can see these artifacts that something has been deleted, and there are some pieces in here that, if someone's liking things, but the original message is gone, we can still see the original message because of how the liking action is actually stored. And we can even see in this other example, like edited history,
Hmm.
right? So if you take a screenshot, maybe you don't want to delete it. It feels wrong to delete, but you change the message to clarify something or to change the meaning a little bit. Now you can see the actual history of what was sent and shared here. In that personal injury or the workers' comp example you suggested, there is plenty of bad faith lawsuits that happen, and the personal injury attorney wants to make sure that they have the evidence they need, that they can prove their case, and that there isn't evidence somewhere floating around that will disprove their case.
Yeah.
Right. And so some of what this tool can be used for is almost like a lie detector, right? Is your client, just BSing you and trying to get some case and some funds, and you're not getting paid until you win, right? And so if you don't win, you're out a whole bunch of money. You don't want to get into that situation. So, really early case assessment can really help, make sure that you have winning cases, and you can find, sniff out the BS.
So, David, you mentioned screenshots, which we've already
Yes.
discussed. It's a huge time suck.
Yeah.
What else are firms doing right now to do this type of data extraction?
Yeah. So usually if people are trying to get these text messages or data off of a phone, they're using, in addition to screenshots, either they're hiring a really expensive ESI vendor, something $3,000, $5,000 a phone. You're turning over your device for a few days to a week. And so you're going through this really deep analysis of everything, right? Usually overkill, because they're using really expensive software that's thousands and thousands of dollars a year. Or you're using some kind of internet software, right? Something you may have found on the internet, that you've downloaded, that there's no person behind it, there's no support team. It's like kind of hard to use. It's not very user friendly. It's not built for the legal world, and you still have the same chain of custody problem. Like, you want someone in the middle to help with this. And most of those tools, you need a series of tools to get all of this data we're talking about, right? You are going to need to stitch together 4 or 5 or 6 different tools to be able to get texts on iPhone and Android and social media and medical records and, bank statement. And so we're sitting in between both of those, and providing, a system right in the middle, right?
Yeah, that's brilliant because I mean these alternatives are wildly expensive,
Mhm.
compliant consultants. We're talking
Yeah.
about vendors and third-party apps that have questionable security,
Yeah,
need to be
exactly.
patched
Mhm.
together. Whereas yours is WYSIWYG. It's what you see is what you get. You buy
Yeah.
it,
Self-serve. Yeah. Hmm.
self-serve. It's on a secure platform. It's great. So if someone wants to use this today, I would imagine an attorney's problem, unless there's true solo, they're probably using themselves. But larger
Yeah.
firms, they have their paralegals, legal administrators, legal assistants running
Yeah,
these scripts
exactly.
or doing
That's
these
right.
extractions. What do they need to do to sign up? And one other note for listeners, Abu now is not involved with Hearsay. We don't collect commissions. This is
Yeah.
purely a conversation because of our enthusiasm for the platform. So David, like, what does this cost?
Yeah. So we don't charge by seat. Use it, as much as you want. We have 2 pricing models. Both of these pricing models are self-serve. Like, you can sign up as soon as you want, just online. There isn't a long sales cycle, a contracting process, you're not locking into anything. We always offer demos, and, so self-serve, you can sign up when you want, but, demo, you want to come ask questions, always open for that. All of our plans include proactive support. Every extraction comes with logs. We're always monitoring. We're looking and helping. Hey, it looks like your computer is slow. Here are some tips to help out, right? All of that kind of stuff. And this is in 2 pricing models. One is, if you have a few phones a year, maybe one a month, two a month or less, we have a pay as you go plan, right? So you're not locked into any contract, and it's $100 a phone, right? So for $100, you get anything off the phone. For social media, bank records, there are going to be additional fees, but just for the phone, it's $100, right? Pretty reasonable. We store the data for a year. You pull as much as you want, and share and print as much as you need as well. The other plan is an unlimited plan, and this is for smaller firms, 5 and under. If you have 5 attorneys or fewer, there's a unlimited plan for $120 a month, right? So just 20 extra bucks. If you're doing it twice a month, you're out ahead, and that is for as many phones as you want. If you're larger than 5 firms, we also offer unlimited packages based on your usage. So you tell us how much you use, we'll put a custom plan together. All of these plans are month to month, no contract, and you try it out unlimited for a few months and go, okay, we don't use it as much as we want. You can go back down to pay as you go. We do actually end up seeing, because of the pricing, people use it more often, right? There's just more phones that they wish they could collect. They want to collect the data early and often so that the phone doesn't, quote unquote, fall into the ocean, right? It gets
Yeah,
destroyed, it gets lost. They just don't feel like handing it over. You collect it early, you have it, right? And so all of that's included in those two, what we feel pretty fair prices.
that's great. And onboarding, is it simple as just signing up on the site, entering in
Yeah.
billing, and they're already in the platform?
Yeah, exactly. So sign up online, use hearsay.com/sign up. Go ahead, you put your name in, credit card. We will reach out if you want an onboarding training session for your team. We'll walk you through how to do it. And we do offer a managed service. If you don't want to handle it yourself, you want us to just be running it with your client online, there is a version for that. And the first extraction always comes with managed service for free. So we can walk you through the first extraction with your client. So you're not, trying to figure it out with a client on the line. But it's really simple. You saw the UI. That is actually what the UI looks like. There isn't much to go wrong, right? And so you
Yeah,
just need to plug it in.
I
Mhm.
love that. Yeah, like my favorite apps are the ones that have very few routes to go, very few
Mhm.
lanes, and this
Exactly.
one does it with such high value outputs. So, David, thank you so much. For everyone
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
curious to use Hearsay, go to usehearsay.com, usehearsay.com. And David, if someone wants to talk to you personally, we always like to share
Yeah.
direct lines. What's the best way to email you?
Yeah. My email is david@usehearsay.com, usehearsay.com.
Amazing. All right, everyone. Thank you for hopping on. David, thanks so much, man. We'll talk soon.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.